who came up with the idea of Doom appearing when we banned players? I feel like Gale probably, was the one who originally asked for that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who put it in game to allow it to work.
I don't know who it implemented at that time.
Probably Marky or
Corpening. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe Marky or Corpening. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Gale asked for that.
Yeah.
And if not, Gale, I'm sorry. You are a sweetheart. And I am so sorry for putting that one on you if it was not your responsibility. But yeah, I think that came from the community team.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. Oop.
It was pretty rad. Like, the downside of it was people would intentionally try to get banned all the time because they wanted to have Doom show up. And so, like, there was a level of recognition there of, like, maybe we've made a horrible mistake.
I do sometimes miss the sort of more simplistic structure of something like Guild Wars 1 because, you know, it'd be real interesting to go back and make another thing for it. Like, geez, I haven't even touched those
tools.
Those tools, you know, I don't even know where. I don't even know where those tools are anymore. But it'd be really interesting to kind of go back with, you know, like, you know, for I think all of us, right, 15, 17, 20 years of experience making Guild Wars games, like what would it be like to go back and then use those constraints to make something similar, right? Like, I don't know what the answer to that is. It's just a thing I sometimes think about where it's like, yeah, things were very different when we made those games. And those sort of constraints, I think, that was sort of the challenge, is like, how do you make something fun and satisfying and complete in a very short amount of time?
I think you helped me create a bunch of the hacks in that one that made it look like an army, if I remember right.
Yeah, okay, yes, I remember, yeah. We had some spots where we put a guy up on a hill and like it looked like a big army, but it was really like you spawning people and moving like 10 feet. And
then they would teleport back and then run again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there was
behind the curtains.
There was like a limit to the number of characters you could have on screen at the time in Guild Wars 1, and it was really small. It was part of the reason that we were able to run the game the way that we were, was we really structured everything to be super cheap on the server back then. Yeah. And so there was a hard cap on the number of characters that could be on screen. Yeah. And the Palawa Joko bonus mission was the Battle of Jahai, where Palawa Joko and Tarai Asa and their armies have this giant epic battle together. And when we decided to do that one, I remember it was us and like I think Brant built a lot of the props that made it look like an army, and we all sat down and said, like, how in the world do we do this in a game that doesn't allow all this stuff on screen? Yeah. So there are little cheaty hacks all over that mission. There are a bunch of the armies are actual individual props, and there was this battle line that went down the map that, depending on how different PvP matches were going and some stuff on the PvE side, the control of the world would shift back and forth on a line between the Luxons and the Kurzicks. And wherever control was determined access to certain outposts and locations and things you could buy. And I think we spent probably half that expansion just poking at that feature over and over and over again and trying to figure out how do we make the different Jade Quarry and Arborstone play into that correctly, and how do we make all of the different components of it actually feel right. I don't think it ever quite got there when we shipped. It wasn't the version of it we imagined it to be, but that was really hard to figure out. How do we make a perpetually moving control line game across all of the players simultaneously, where they're not actually fighting all together. It's more about which group do you join.
Then going home and playing a lot of other games to sort of cleanse the palate and get some inspiration to try new things with the game, right? So
I think that's one of the hardest balances to walk, is like, how much do you play your own game, especially when it's live, so that you can stay in touch with everything that's going on in it. Yeah. Versus how many hours do you carve out to play everything else that's being made by everybody else? Yeah. Because you have to know what's going on in the industry, and you have to keep up with what other game developers are doing. And in a lot of ways, you know, that's also how we get inspired. Is we look at, you know, what did somebody else do that's awesome? Oh, that's so cool. We should look at that. Or like, what if we did our own little tweak on that? Or sometimes it's what did they do that didn't quite work out, but maybe we could put our own twist on it and make it work out.
Yeah. Like, how would that work in our game? How can we kind of put a spin on it and make it feel like our own, and have it feel like a Guild Wars?
Well, it's that balance is so hard to find the right middle ground on, because it really does. It feels like you're cheating when you're not playing your own game.
Someone who made like a Pokemon Sneeze compilation. Wait, was it?
That was like every go.
Yeah, it's this. This happens a lot. Someone recently released an Alinity burp compilation.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah.
Oh, you. It was you. You did it.
What?
Was
No,
it you?
I
Yeah, I mean, you just sounded like you knew about that. You know, you said, "Oh, yeah,
I know
yeah."
about it.
Oh, I would never watch something. I would never watch something like that. I would not. I would not enjoy it.
Dude,
Yeah.
I hate IRL women. Okay.
Yeah. What?
Some of the wrecking.